and friends, family, to join us for Rich's retirement. My name is Sean Kelly. I'm the director of the VTS, and Rich is not only one of my co-workers, but he's probably the best friend that I have in the world. And this is both a great honor and really, really unreal for me. It's just so strange to go to work and Rich isn't in the operations center. I have to call Rich at home now. I can't just walk down the hallway and say, "Hey, Rich." So anyway, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with the ceremony part of the retirement here, and then we'll get back to the partying part of the retirement party. So Rich, we're celebrating 39 years of Coast Guard federal service. 35 of those years, Rich has served at the Vessel Traffic Service as a petty officer, controller and petty officer, then a civilian controller, a supervisor, a trainer, a friend. We don't have time tonight to go through all of the things that Rich has done for us. Recently, we have an all-hands ceremony at the sector once a month. And so with this last month, we did with our sector colleagues, Coast Guard active duty colleagues and folks there at the sector, we did a little celebration for him. At that ceremony, Rich received some recognition. Rich's lovely wife, Tamara, received a nice letter of appreciation from the captain of the port for her unselfish and faithful devotion to Rich and his career, making it possible for him to come and stay on the watch, and when she probably at many times would have rather he had been at home. Also, Stephen and Monica, Rich's children right here, they also received a letter of appreciation from Captain Stump for enduring the separations from their father during his long career of service to the maritime community in the country. At the end of the ceremony, as is our tradition at the Vessel Traffic Service, we broadcast a farewell broadcast all over San Francisco Bay that gave all of his maritime colleagues and customers and friends an opportunity to recognize his service. Rich has the recording of that, and you can hear all of the responses from far and wide all over the Bay Area waterways, everybody who was on the water that day. I came to VTS in 1990, right after the Loma Prieta earthquake. Right from the start, Rich and I became friends. We've been through a lot together. Personally, or professionally, he's been my trainer, my mentor, my supervisor, my subordinate, and my colleague. Now think about that for a minute. That says a lot, because Rich and I have been on kind of both sides of the chain of command from each other. We never let that affect our relationship. In fact, I think in a lot of ways that helped our relationship grow stronger over the years. Personally, he's been the best friend, compadre, and confidant that anyone could ever ask for. We stood the VTS watch together. We've implemented new systems and technology. We've innovated. We've joked, we've laughed, and at times we've commiserated. We've fished, we've hunted, we've hiked, we've sat around the campfire and tilted a few 12-ounce curls. We've gotten ourselves into and out of a few scrapes and had a great time all along. We raised families together. I look forward to that continuing. Rich's last watch was December 31st, but as I said, it's going to take me a long time to get used to the fact that he's not just down the hallway in the operations center. So let me talk a little bit about Rich's career. And again, this is going to be brief. I can't cover 39 years in a few minutes. Rich entered U.S. Coast Guard basic recruit training at Trace and Alameda in 1976. That was back when it was called Government Island, as opposed to Coast Guard Island. Completed the tour aboard the Coast Guard Cutter Midget, primarily working fishery patrols in the arduous Bering Sea. Then he transferred to the Vessel Traffic Service, where he completed his active duty service in 1983. He continued then to work at the VTS as a Coast Guard reservist, and at that same time he was working at the San Francisco Marine Exchange, still serving the San Francisco Bay Area maritime community, as an assistant operations officer. In 1986, and this is historical, folks, he was one of the first 4 civilians ever hired in the U.S. Coast Guard VTS program. It was an active duty Coast Guard uniform active duty program before that. Rich, Mr. Hastings, Mr. Whiting, who's not able to be with us, and Hal Stone?
Riley Flowers.
Riley Flowers.
Riley Flowers and me.
Are old, and Mark Melanson. I'm sorry,
And Randy
5.
Gertz. Yeah, so Randy
Well, in the first 4.
Well, he was hired, but he just showed up late.
Okay, details. Yes, he was amongst the first. Okay. I wasn't there yet. Okay. He was a controller for 14 years, a supervisor for 15 years, and he is up until December 31st of 2015, the single longest serving member of the U.S. Coast Guard VTS program. Period.
Wow.
Wow.
That's been verified. So a couple of brief highlights from Rich's career. He delivered the very first offshore broadcast in 1986, which has been done twice per hour, every day, 24/7, 365 since then. As I like to tell the detailers and assignment officers in the Coast Guard, our cutter never docks. It's always underway. He was there for the '89 Loma Prieta earthquake and the 9/11 attacks on America. He has served under 7 U.S. presidents and 11 commandants. Now, I don't know how many of you folks sail offshore, but in 1986, there was a fatal collision offshore between the tanker Golden Gate and the fishing vessel Jack Jr. in the fog off of Point Reyes. In 2007, there was almost an identical accident occurred off of Point Reyes between the motor vessel Eva Danielson and the fishing vessel Bona Madre. Again, lives were lost. Rich came into my office following that second collision and said, "This is something I've been thinking about for a long time." And he laid a diagram on my desk. He said, "This is what I think we should do. These are what I think we should do with the offshore traffic separation schemes." Well, the wheels of government turn slowly sometimes, but years later, in July of 2013, those new offshore traffic separation schemes were adopted. They extended the traffic separation schemes all the way out to the VTS limit and substantially increased navigation safety and predictability for vessels offshore, and had the ancillary effect of possibly saving whales from whale and ship collisions. That's part of Rich's legacy. And that'll be there for a mighty long time. Maybe even longer than you.
Yeah.
So just a couple of other things. Rich has lived and worked through life's advancements of vinyl record albums. Actually, was it gramophones first?
I had 8
Vinyl. Oh, well, I'm getting there. I had 2 8-tracks, 2 cassettes, to Sony Walkmans, to CDs, to iTunes, and I don't think you've embraced Spotify yet, have you?
I don't Twitter either.
Rotary phones, to the big 2-pound brick cell phones to smartphones and Google Watches. You still don't have a smartphone though, do you? But you know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids have.
Yeah.
Xerox and Cray computers to the birth of Apple to Palm Pilots to iPads, et cetera, et cetera. Navigating with the stars and sextants and compass to LORAN and GPS. When Rich first started, ships calling into San Francisco averaged about 300 to 400 feet length overall. Today we're having ships of greater than 1,300 feet capable of carrying over 18,000 containers aboard. And he knows how to moonwalk. Oh, you know I was going to go there. All right, real brief story. So Rich and I are out fishing. Rich and I are out fishing off of Santa Cruz one day on my boat. And when we got done fishing for the day and we're clearing the bait off of our lines. Now, if you've ever been fishing offshore, especially if you've ever been fishing with live bait, you know you are always in the presence of the company of seagulls and pelicans. Okay, so Rich is clearing the anchovy off of his hook and he's getting ready to throw it off the side of the boat. And I don't know, he's looking at the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk or something, a bikini or something over there. And he reaches over to throw the anchovy into the water and a pelican comes up with that big flappy beak and takes Rich's hand and the anchovy at the same time. And I just happened to be looking at him at the time, and Rich, eyes got this big and he moonwalked across the deck. Rich knows how to moonwalk. At this point, I'd like to introduce Captain Stump, Captain of the Port, Commanding Officer Sector San Francisco, to say a few words.
Great, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. In a moment, we're going to call Rich up, and we're going to present him with an award. It's called the Commandant's Achievement Award, and I look forward to that. But before I do that, and I chatted a little bit when we had our all hands that Sean talked about some of the amazing things that Rich did, and and I don't have any prepared notes right now, but I think we're all feeling a little ambivalent right now, right? Including yourself, Rich, all the family, the friends. The emotions are all over the map. We're happy for you, right? You're going to retire, and you're going to do what you want to do, and that could be stay in your bunny slippers all day long and watch Oprah. But I know you're not going to do that because that's not how you roll. You are a giver. You are a doer. You're a mentor. You provide support. You're swinging nails. You're providing folks information on how to rid ants. You're helping mom-in-law, with those issues. So you're probably going to be more busy after retirement than you were while you were working. So we're really happy for you, but we're sad too, right? And I don't know if you're sad or not. You may be giving yourself high fives and it's all good. Maybe, but it's sad because you're going to stop. You are no longer going to be working in this amazing thing called the Vessel Traffic Service. You are no longer going to help ensure economic prosperity for Northern California by ensuring safety and security of the movement of ships. You're no longer going to be ensuring the security of the port. I mean, and most importantly, you're no longer going to be around these amazing people like Sean and Greg Rule and Mark Swan, and the names go on and on and on. That group, that very tight-knit group, that will never be the same because you will go, somebody will replace you, and it will never be the same. So it's really kind of bizarre. This is a milestone. It's not only a milestone for you and tomorrow, but it's also a milestone for the entire VTS. And it's just great, right? I mean, it's a great marker right now. And I'm loving this. I'm living vicariously through you because I don't have many more years until I retire. And just enjoy every second tonight. You got a lot of family and friends here with a lot of love and heart in their hearts, and it's a beautiful thing. So, without further ado, I'm going to present to you our award here. If you wouldn't mind coming up. And my deputy, Captain Patrick Nelson, is going to be doing the reading of the citation.
All right, from the United States Coast Guard to Mr. Richard Jesse Brewer is presented Commander's Award for Civilian Service for Outstanding Achievement from October 1976 to December 2015. Given this 31st day of December 2015, Captain G.G. Stump. Richard Brewer is cited for exceptional performance, professionalism, leadership, and pursuit of excellence during nearly 39 years of combined military and federal civil service. During this time, he facilitated efficient maritime operations and safe navigation for millions of vessel transits in the geographically complex and environmentally sensitive waters of San Francisco Bay region. Following the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, which destroyed a major section of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, Mr. Brewer helped coordinate emergency response efforts to the maritime public and worked considerable overtime under stressful conditions to monitor the 200% increase in ferry transits. In response to the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, he virtually overnight coordinated with the Sea Marshal Dispatch and the bar pods to ensure high-interest vessel transit information was kept secure and was instrumental in establishing the initial Sea Marshal Communications Watch, enhancing the coordination of maritime security in the San Francisco Bay Area. Following a fatal collision in the ocean approaches, he developed and submitted a detailed proposal of new offshore traffic management, resulting in a regional port access route study, International Maritime Organization approval, and official implementation of the new traffic separation scheme in June of 2013. These new shipping lanes enhance predictability and safety for hundreds of vessels each week and have been credited with potentially reducing vessel-whale interactions. Mr. Brewer helped VTS usher in numerous new systems, including the implementation of standard workstations, closed-circuit television cameras, National Vessel Traffic Service regulations, computerized display and data systems, and the automated identification system. He provided aid to distressed mariners, prevented marine casualties, minimized the effects of severe weather and natural disasters, and helped save lives. Mr. Brewer also trained over 75 traffic managers in 2 of the Coast Guard's most comprehensive competencies, including a VTS program manager at Coast Guard headquarters and the current San Francisco VTS director, and educated thousands of VTS customers. As a Coast Guard veteran and vessel traffic service supervisor, Mr. Brewer is well known, trusted, and respected by VTS peers, subordinates, superiors, and customers alike.
Thanks, Captain.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
Rich, you weren't supposed to sit down, you know. We got a little lot more booty for you up here.
Do you need me up there?
That's pirate booty.
You know I'm here for you.
All right. So now I'd like to present this letter of appreciation from the President of the United States. Dear Richard, I'm pleased to join your family and friends in offering my warmest congratulations as you retire after 39 years of service to our nation. Your hard work and dedication over the years have helped the federal government fulfill its important obligations to the American people. Those who have worn the uniform of the United States, as well as our public servants, have played a critical role in defending our country and securing our way of life. All are patriots and have given of themselves to build a better tomorrow for our nation. As you reflect on your many years of service, I hope you take pride in your contributions and commitment. I wish you all the best for happiness and good health in the years ahead. Sincerely, Barack Obama. Mr. Roja.
He left.
Step aside.
He had to step aside.
So we can.
Okay, Mr. Rule.
Well, Rich, this is a shadow box from the crew of San Francisco, VTS San Francisco. All these little circles are actually called challenge coins, and they represent the branches of service that he has served under. For example, the Department of Transportation, Homeland Security, and of course, the Big Daddy, the U.S. Coast Guard. And then he's had a couple other units to serve, like Sean said, the Coast Guard Cutter Midget, VTS San Francisco. Then there are other coins here from District 11 and from the Chief's Mess, both here and on Coast Guard Island. So commemorative U.S. flag as well. And at the bottom is the dates that he has served the government in all 3 phases: active duty, reserve, and as a civilian. And bottom line, it says, thank you for your service. So this is from the crew, and here you go, sir. Congratulations. Great, thank you.
Don't leave you.
I get to give you orders for like another minute or two.
Another minute.
Actually, I'd like to just, for the folks who aren't familiar with this ceremony process and the military, essentially retirement ceremony, the tradition of presenting a shadow box to a retiring sailor is born of early British custom. In the days of sail, when Britain ruled the seas, it was considered bad luck for a sailor upon final departure from a ship to allow his shadow to hit the pier before he did. So in order to ensure no such misfortune would befall their shipmate, their crew would construct a box of the finest timber, and within it place all the things which reflected his accomplishments. Only then could the sailor, with the shadow of himself in hand, safely depart the ship and go ashore once and for all. So that's a little bit of the tradition behind the shadow box. At this point, I'd like to ask Mr. Lopez to come up. He has something to present.
We'd like to present to Mr. Richard Brewer the Department of Homeland Security plaque recognizing you for your faithful and devoted service to the federal government and the United States Coast Guard. Thank you.
Mr. Press.
Some openings up here, right? Yeah.
All right. We have a very gifted artist at VTS, Rob Stewart, that's not here now. This is one of the most coveted gifts you can get from leaving VTS. Everyone that works there wants this when they leave. So, Rich, we hope you enjoy your retirement. We're really going to miss you.
Thank you.
We keep hanging there, buddy.
And
We're gonna need some more walls.
Oh my.
and finally, Mr. Rule would like to present you.
We wanted to, again, this is from the crew, we wanted to present something to Rich that would be very emblematic of this area. It's something that we see every day outside of our confines through various ways, if we're on the water or if we're looking through our cameras, but we see the Golden Gate Bridge all the time. And this is a piece of metal art. I was talking to the artist, I got to meet him a little bit, talk to him a little bit, and we were discussing the different kinds of mediums that can really help the picture stand out. And he recommended highly the metal form. The clarity is really magnificent, and it's a signature piece that doesn't need framing, doesn't need matting. It'll sit a little bit off the wall, so it kind of stands out by itself. But this will be on display over there. If I take a closer look and maybe turn it over and put a signature on it too, that'd be nice. But Hope you enjoy it. You can touch it, you can wipe it, it's gonna be okay. You can drop it, but it won't.
No, don't drop it.
But yeah, and so hope you enjoy it. It's a lot of fun getting to know the artist too. He's a good guy.
That's beautiful.
Okay. So Rich and I have.
He needs to give a speech.
Speed.
That's coming.
Every minute's on.
So Rich and I have this old weathered U.S. flag that I flew on my patrol boats when I was with the special boat units in the Navy that we always fly at our hunting camp. Maybe you can hang that on the tree, rip it up, hang that on the tree right underneath it. Okay, so now the moment we've all been waiting for. Rich, would like to say a few words?
No notes on this, but this has been a fantastic career. I've met a lot of people from a lot of parts of the world. They all, been part of what helps make me me. Friends that do things with me, teach me things. Me teaching them, gives me insight. Just the Coast Guard has given me a career, but a family. It's allowed me to pursue my hobbies, my goals, some of my dreams, and this isn't the end of my dreams, by a long shot. And there's going to be a point here in a month or so when I'm thinking, what the heck did I do? But no, at this point, our kids are successfully moving into the next phases of their lives, and Tamara and I are going to be moving in new directions, maybe even a new place, but I know we're going to enjoy it. I'm going to remember this forever. I'll be talking about it for a long time to come. But as for mentors, like Sean said, we've kind of reverse rolled a few times here with different things, but he's also been my mentor, kind of kept me in check when I needed to be kept in check, and helped kind of push me in the right direction sometimes when I didn't want to go. And he's right out, if somebody needed something, I'm more than happy to put myself out there, because that's how I was raised. So, but without my wife and my kids, and our family, this wouldn't, it would have just been a career, but it wouldn't have been this kind of career. So, thank you everyone for coming. It's amazing how many people were able to come, and I appreciate seeing all our VTS. I'm in the new club now, finally. With Mark and Bob.
The old club.
Well established. Yeah, well established.
Son's in retirement.
Yes. Thank you all for coming. I'm overwhelmed by all the emotions that I'm having tonight, so thank you.
So, you can sit down. Oh, and we're gonna put that back on the table. If anyone wants to sign the back of that, there's a Sharpie over there. Please, feel free. So in closing, I was thinking, well, over the last couple of months, but really trying to pin down if somebody were to ask me, can you give me one word that describes Rich Brewer? It would be selfless. And that's that. I mean, Rich will give you the shirt off of his back. I can tell you stories. I'll spare you. Rich, on behalf of everyone present and those who couldn't be, I'd like to say thank you for your service, for your friendship, for your unrivaled example of selflessness, teamwork, work ethic, and devotion to duty. You've always said yes to whatever was asked, and most of the time you didn't even need to be asked. We'll fill your position, in fact, you already have. But we can't replace you. I don't know how we'll write the watch bill without you, but if you've taught us anything over the years, it's that we'll find a way. At this point now, I think we're going to start serving dinner, but if anyone wants to come up and say anything about Rich, roast Rich, maybe, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Here's to Richard.
To Richard.
I met Rich when he was fairly new to the BTS. And we've been married almost 34 years now. And I love him so much. He's been through so much. 12-hour watches. Oh my God, when we had they call them ASMs. Some of you remember those. A-day, swing, mid. What was it? Yeah.
It didn't feel like
And
it,
it was
though.
week by week and oh my goodness, I don't know how we survived some of those hours. When the kids were little, when they were babies, and Rich would come home, I would take the kids out to the park because, Daddy's sleeping. But, Rich, working with the VTS, has helped our family. We bought a home, we raised our kids. We've been through a lot together, and I'm looking so forward to our future. Thank you so much for all of you, because, as a wife, you hear a lot of stuff when they come home. Some of it's good, some of it's griping, but I've got to know a lot of you just by him working at the VTS, and sometimes we used to have Christmas parties together. We had a golf team one time with the bar pilots, and just lots of stuff over the years, over 30 years, and wow, it is surreal. And I love you, honey. Here's Richard, and he really is good enough.